Okay, so we're looking at the exam style practice paper from the first year textbook, and I think we're on question 10. Yep, so we're on question 10. So we've got a triangle, so I'm immediately thinking trigonometry. And we're given so it's not to scale, that's always going to be the case. And we're given the 3 side lengths, and I'm asked to find the angle. So if I'm given 3 lengths, it's going to have to be cosine rule. Okay, because to use sine rule, I need at least one matching, one pair of opposite sides and angles. So let's get that triangle drawn or roughly sketched out. So it's A, B, C. AB is 7.5, BC is 10.6, and AC is 12.7. Okay, so that's all I really need. And I'm trying to find angle BAC. So I'm trying to find that angle there. So it's going to be cosine rule. So A squared is B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. Okay, oh, and that's nice because it is angle A I'm trying to find. So side A has to be the opposite side. So 10.6 squared, and B and C don't matter because they're both used in the same way. So 12.7 squared plus 7.5 squared. Let me write it out where I've actually got space to get the whole thing. So 10.6 squared is 12.7 squared plus 7.5 squared minus 2 times 12.7 times 7.5 times cos of A. So actually I know some people do memorise the rearranged version of this where cos A is the subject. So if that's what you do, that's absolutely fine. I even after all these years, I still tend not to bother with that. I just always use the original version. So 10.6 squared is 112.36. 12.7 squared plus 7.5 squared is 217.54. And actually, normally when I see people make mistakes with cosine rule, it happens here. So I think they treat this as though they're sort of multiplying those things together, okay, which is not the case. Just get a small eraser so I can get rid of those. Okay, so that's not what you're doing there. You are doing this, subtract all of this. So I've done the 12.7 squared plus 7.5 squared in one go. So then I've got 2 times 12.7 times 7.5. So then that's minus 190.5 multiplied by cos A. So negatives don't really matter, but I'm going to add that over to the left-hand side, and then I'm going to do 217.54 minus 112.36 and get 105.18. So cos A is going to be 105.18 divided by 190.5. Okay, so I'm just going to write that down to 3 significant figures, but in fact I'm just not going to clear it from my calculator. And I'm going to do inverse cos of that and get 56.5. And I'm just going to go back to the question and check. It didn't mention rounding, so 3 significant figures is my, get a 3 significant figures is our normal rounding if it doesn't say otherwise. Okay, right, then it asks me to find the cost. In fact, so I'm just going to check the answer before we go any further. Right, so then it asks me to find the cost of studying the whole law, and that's worth 5 marks. So obviously I'm going to need to find the area. So let's just draw the triangle out again. So I now know that that's 56.5, and then it was 7.5, I've already forgotten, right, 10.6 and 12.7. So we're doing B here. Okay, so I want the area. So area is half AB sine C. please, please, please don't be faffing around with trying to do half base times height. You must get that formula learned. You're making life so much more difficult if you're not just using that. Oh, God. Okay. For goodness sake. Right. Okay, because I've actually got everything I need. So this basically means two sides and the angle between them. So that's those three values. So it's half times 12.7 times 7.5. And again, I've not left myself much room, but just squeeze that in, okay? So I'll tell you what, let's stop being lazy. Let's make that a little bit, just wrote a little bit smaller. Could fit the whole thing in, right? Okay, so half times 7.5 times 12.7 times sine of 56.5. So that's all just going straight into my calculator. So 0.5 times 7.5 times 12.7 times sine of 56.5 gives me 39.7, assuming that was in meters. Yep, square meters. It's £1.25 per square meter. Yeah, I guess they're not crisp. I'm assuming with lawn seed you don't have to buy it in whole square meters. So I am just going to do 39.7 times £1.25. And I'm going to get £49.64. So check that answer. Okay, so right, so I am a penny different. Now I suspect if I go back to my working, that is going to be because I did not round anything. So I'm going to go back and do 39.7 just to double check. 39.7 times £1.25. Yeah, and that does. So, and if that happens, both values would be fine. So that would be covered on an official mark scheme. But basically, what the difference is when first time I typed into my calculator, I didn't use 39.7. I hadn't rounded that answer. So that's why it just gave me a slightly higher answer. But if that happened, it would be covered in the mark scheme. So both would be acceptable.